Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Sagar and I just completed my PhD in economics from Brown University. This is the first in a series of videos where we will cover some concepts about economics and statistics. And today we will start with a very important topic, which is selection bias in identifying causal effect. So to provide some motivation, as social scientists, or in particular as economists, we are interested in identifying the causal impact of various programs. For example, we are interested in knowing what is the impact of various welfare schemes on poverty, what is the impact of providing after-school tuition classes on the performance of students, or we could also be interested in comparing two alternatives which would require estimating the impact of these two alternatives. For example, suppose the goal is to reduce malnutrition among the children belonging to poorer families. So is it better to provide them subsidy for food, or is it better to just directly give them cash for the equivalent amount? For these questions and many more questions like this, it is important to know the true impact of these various interventions or various programs so that the resources can be allocated accordingly. Now, where does the selection problem come in here? Now, to understand the causal impact of the programs, one way could be to compare those who have the program to those who do not have the program. To make things more concrete, let's take the example of after-school tuitions. So we are interested in the impact of these after-school tuitions on the learning of students. And let's say we measure their learning by how they perform in the exams. Now suppose we also have data on many students within a city in the same grade. Roughly half of them attend these tuitions and others do not. One could say to understand the impact of these tuitions, let's just compare the exam scores of those students who take these tuitions to those who do not take these tuitions. Seems reasonable so far, right? But let's think about it. Why do some students take these tuitions while others do not? Surely there must be some differences. Now let's think of two scenarios of how these differences can play their part. For scenario 1, it is possible that the students who take these tuitions may have higher level of motivation or self-drive to begin with. So since they have higher drive and higher motivation, they might do well anyway on these exams without any support from these tuitions. Or it is also possible that the students who attend these tuitions come from richer families, which could also mean that they have much better access to many other resources. For example, they have a very good study environment at home as compared to someone from a poorer family who may also have to attend household duties after coming from school. Now suppose we do see that these students who attend tuitions actually do better than those who do not. It could be that the tuitions help them, for sure, but it could also be that they did better because of higher motivation or because of the availability of better resources. In this scenario, if we do this comparison and use this difference as our estimate of the program, we will be over exaggerating the role of tuitions. Now let's think of the opposite scenario. What if the students who join these tuition classes are mostly those who are struggling with the material in the school, and that is why they are looking for some extra assistance, some extra help with the class material? In this scenario, we could actually well find that these students who attend tuitions perform worse as compared to those students who do not attend these classes. Therefore, if this were the case, we might actually end up concluding that tuitions actually decrease the performance of students, which would also not be the right conclusion in this example or in this scenario. So both these issues are actually arising due to this problem called selection bias. This represents the idea that people select into a program based on certain characteristics, and the outcomes that we observe could actually well be a result of these characteristics. Let's break this down a bit. In this example, students are selecting into tuitions, which means that students are by choice attending tuitions based on their characteristics, and we've already talked about what some of these characteristics can be. These characteristics could be their intrinsic motivation levels, their family income, or their understanding of the class material. Now we have also seen how these characteristics could be explaining the outcome variable, which in our case is their exam scores. So hopefully by now you understand what this selection bias represents. So the key takeaway from this video is that to understand the impact of some program, it's not a good idea to just compare people with and without the program, especially where people are choosing to enter into some kind of program. One always needs to think, why is it that some people participated in the program while others did not? The same problem would also arise if, for example, we are interested in knowing what is the impact of going to college on someone's earnings, and we try to answer this question by just comparing the earnings of those who went to college to those who did not go to college. So the basic idea is we always need to be careful. Why is it that some people went to college and others did not? Maybe they had higher ability to begin with, maybe they were more interested in studying to begin with, and that could also explain part of the result that we will see from this example. There are various solutions that have been developed to address the selection bias problem, and I will cover them in some of my forthcoming videos. Thanks for watching this one. See you guys in the next one.